and good morning to everybody, and welcome to the Chatty Cuppa. I'm Nirasha Ramalugan from Just Simply Change, and I'm your host. And I just love these shows and my guests that I have on the shows. And because the Chatty Cuppa is all about hacking your mind so that you can be happy, you can be healthy, your mind, your body, and your soul. And today I have a really, really special guest, and I'm going to introduce her first. I have Dr. Prathima Nagesh on my Chatty Cuppa this morning, and she's been such a wealth of knowledge if I need a little bit of advice. And she's been giving me some really potent advice that have been complementing the therapies that I do with my own clients. Now, Dr. Nagesh obtained a degree in Ayurvedic philosophies and Ayurvedic practices in India, and she has been practicing in the UK and in Europe for more than 12 years. Now, you can see her wealth of experience because as a therapist or as a doctor, most of your experiences and the gems of your experiences come when you are working with clients. She has a clinic in Essex in the UK and also in Canary Wharf in London. And she's also a lecturer for the past 12 years. So she's been a little busybody. And she's worked at the College of Ayurveda in Milton Keynes and at Middlesex University. Now, I am so excited because I know Ayurvedic practices are huge around the world. And I think we need to bring it more to an awareness that it has been traveling around the world. So I'm going to say welcome to Dr. Prathima Nagesh, and I'm super excited in having her here. Welcome.
Thank you, Nirasha. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Thank you so much. And you know what, just listening to you and reading through your bio and also talking to you, that we've been talking for a few months now on WhatsApp and on Zoom. And it's weird that only when you have a chat to a person and you see them on video call, you can actually feel their energies. So I'm really blessed to have you here. Now, Prathima, I know that you are an Indian woman coming all the way from India. Which part of India have you come from?
I come from Karnataka. It's a southern India. So,
And when did you move to the UK?
Oh, when I first moved to UK, we moved to Oxford. It's a city with a lot of knowledge.
Yes, one of my favorites. And when you came from India 12 years ago, and you've moved to the UK now, have you lived anywhere else in the world before?
No.
So it was just India?
Yeah, just India, then directly to here. Yeah.
So when you came here as an Indian woman and you've come to a new place, how did you actually manage to bring your knowledge across? And how did you manage to fit in? Because I know there's so many Indian women that I speak to, and not just Indian women, foreigners, women from Jamaica and Nigeria and South Africa and things like that. And they find it really hard fitting in when they first come here. Now, I'm going to be talking about this journey first, being a foreigner and a successful business entrepreneur in England, and then we'll go on to the actual Ayurvedic practices.
Sure. Yeah.
But tell me, how did you fit
in? Listen, like in any foreigner, you come to anyone go to a foreign land, you suddenly feel it's something new. You're out of the sync. I have to tell a little bit about my background. You don't even believe that back in India, I rarely wore even the Western clothes. I was so much into traditional Indian attire. So I had to change even from the way how I was dressing myself up. That's also the very important thing, because I wanted to be one thing. I always believed it: when you are in Rome, be a Roman the same way.
I always tell my clients that
the first thing I made in my exactly. I had to be exactly with this place, the way how the people are, how it is. Of course, I had a heavy accent. I can't change my accent till when you speak to me, you can see that I am from Indian origin. I'm not ashamed or worried of that. That is what I am. But I had to work a little bit on my accent so that everybody can understand what I'm speaking, even though I knew English very well. That was another thing I worked on. And one thing I have to say, I've been really lucky. As soon as I moved in, within 2-3 months, I got an opportunity to work in the Middlesex University as an ad hoc, not as a
Oh, that's really good.
proper salaried, but as a ad hoc. I started working that year. And yes, yeah, that's exactly, as soon as I got my national insurance number, I got into that, not as a big income, but still it gives you confidence, right? Then because of that, I get into the teaching.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Then I got into the teaching, and at the same time, one more thing I did is, as I told you, it's an ad hoc job. What I used to do is I roam around the streets of Oxford, and I used to roam. At that time, I wasn't driving. I used to use the public transport, go
Yeah.
see the different shops, different cultures, how different part of the people from different part of the world are gelled into it, because Oxford is really a cosmopolitan city, just similar to London,
Oh,
because we
yes.
have, yeah, so you will be get exposure to different people, how they gel into one. So that actually helped me a lot to get in here. And yeah, that's one thing. One thing I learned in that 6 months is, wherever you are from, whatever ethnicity is, you are a human first.
Yes,
That
absolutely.
makes you what you are.
Now, I know you, when you came here,
So that's how.
I know when you came here, you wanted to fit in because the best way to feel comfortable in a space with other people is to find ways of fitting in. Now, I know a lot of people, when they come here, yes, you want to change your style of dressing to fit in. We belong to a tribe. We want to be part of this big community and we want to fit in. That's what social beings are. That's what who we are as human beings. But I think it's also really important to, although we change our clothing and we might alter the way we speak so that we can come across clearly and we can be confident in putting our message across there, I think something that we also still have to hold on to, and I know me coming from South Africa, I wanted to hold on to certain things because I didn't want to change it because these were my roots, you know? So I think, how did you manage to keep hold of your value system? And how did you manage to keep hold of your cultural background and also your religion? Because I think for me, it is really important, especially my value system, because that is who I am, and that is who I would aspire to carry on developing along my journey.
Exactly, that's true, because that's what I said. Wherever you are from, wherever you grow into, it's like a tree. You might go and spread in, but you should stick on to your roots. That's very important. Those roots are our values, and it might be some religious practice or other practice where you have grown up. That makes you what you are. To be honest,
Mm,
I never left them. And whatever the way how I dress for the work, that's something different. But once I come inside the home, I'm a proper Hindu mother. That's what I am once I'm come inside the home. And yes, of course, my religion is, I am a Hindu, and our religion says that you doesn't need to show off your religion. You have to be very sincere within. So I follow everything at home, and I follow the regular meditation and the things told at home. And yeah, we both follow that, and kids also follow that at home. But when you are
good.
outside, you should follow. make a big thing out of it, saying that I don't do this. No. And I have been vegetarian all my life. I stayed like that here. And another thing is, I can't, this is something very, very secret about me. I can't take any alcohol. I haven't taken any alcohol from the beginning, and I don't even like the smell of it. But
Me
till
too.
today, till today I stick to it. I go everywhere. That doesn't mean that I have to have alcohol, right? If I say, everybody will be understanding that. Similarly, not only this, even in the work, I had some kind of like ethics, some boundaries set in for me in the work. So I still follow that. I keep hold on to my core values. And
Yeah.
it's just the way how I talk and how I dress might have changed. I haven't changed. I'm the same person.
Oh, that's amazing. You know what? You're listening to you. It's like me talking to myself because when I came up here, I also, I made sure that we have that Diwali spirit when it's Diwali time. And a week before, I'll get my kids into the kitchen, and my hubby will be in the kitchen. We make all the sweets. And my sister also moved here a year later. So we started this trend of giving trays of sweetmeats to everybody, with our friends and family. And that was a tradition that other people also started exchanging, and it actually felt so great. And when people used to come home on Diwali night to give us our little tray, they'd stay over and have dinner, and they used to say, gosh, but I didn't even phone and tell you that I'm coming. And for us, hospitality, it's where you can just drop everything. People will actually, this is the type of hospitality we have in South Africa. We never used to pick up the phone. Only now it's this, pick up the phone, make an appointment. Before it was just go
Exactly.
and have fun. And I guess India was just the same.
Yeah, exactly. It was the same. And we are also same here at the same time.
Now, you were talking about fitting in, and especially in the workplace. Now, exactly, my husband and we don't drink, and that was a choice. I've always had this phobia for alcohol. I always. So growing up, my kids, I wanted to pass. I wanted to continually make them aware. But when they come to a certain age, I have no, I do have still advice to give and so on. But at the end of the day, children are their own minds, and they have their own journeys and their own paths. And the great thing is that being here, being in a new culture, gave me so many opportunities. And when I look at your bio, I can also see that coming to a new country, coming out of South Africa, and you coming away from India, it made us grow in so many ways. It made us have this zest to get better and improve ourselves. And I see the magic work that you've done. So tell us a little bit about now, this whole path of Ayurvedic healing, and what actually inspired you to do what you do.
Okay. I'll start with, I know most of our viewers know what is Ayurveda by now, right? In a simple words, it is herbal medicine. It's not only herbal, it takes the herbal mineral, surgery, everything is practiced. But in UK, we practice mainly on the herbal remedies and the treatments.
Okay.
Yeah, that is Ayurveda. Why I got into this journey is I have a little bit of family history on that. I have my grandfather, great grandfather, everybody been expert in this. So I was seeing this, and also I think I was in a teenage or something. I had some allergic reactions, and I was getting some health issues, and Ayurveda helped me a lot. And that day I thought, okay, if I'm going to medicine, I will definitely be learning Ayurveda. That was the thought came in at that time. I think I was kind of made set in at that time. I want to
Mm.
learn Ayurveda. And then, of course, I learned Ayurveda and I wanted to do my master's in that. So I finished my MD. And yes, during my MD years, I met my Prince Charming. And so I followed him here.
So is your Prince Charming also in
No,
Ayurvedic, or is he
no,
in a different?
yeah, it's in a different field. Yeah.
And it's so nice to see that you said that you've had a history of Ayurvedic practitioners such as your grandparents and so on. And you know, that's where all the gem lies. And I guess sometimes you hear that little voice of your grandparents talking to you when you are sitting with your clients and your patients.
Yeah, I really listen. It's not like I really hear their voice. It is like how we connect to it, because my childhood went through, because I, as a very young child, I still remember, I think when I learned walking, might be I was sitting on my grandfather's lap. Because he was working from home, right? That's how those era worked. And
Yeah.
I used to sit on his lap and listening to and looking to what he is doing and all these things. And so many times when I come across with some clients, it really sets in this. I've seen this somewhere. I can't, in the beginning era, I really couldn't connect. Where did I see this somewhere? Why I know this one works there rather than going very classically as the text has told. Because then after a while, I realized that this is what I have seen as a child. That is sticking in. Okay, this was been successful. I want to try
Mm,
this way, like that. That is really helpful. I added on to my university training, these seeing what's going on at home in the
yeah.
young age, that helped a lot. That helps adds on to a lot of practical treasures, to be honest.
Those are the gems. Those are the real gems. And you're talking about the age of 3. And it's weird that between the ages of 0 and 8 years old, most children develop limiting beliefs. Now, during that time, you were actually conditioning yourself to all of these gems around you, and your mind was like a sponge absorbing whatever your grandparents were talking to other people, and you were that little child absorbing. It's such a beautiful, I can actually visualize that very clearly,
Yeah,
very, very clearly.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, that I really I'm very grateful in that way, because that added on a lot to my knowledge. I learned also quite a lot of core principles in my work ethics at that
Give me
age.
a few examples.
For example, whoever comes to you, that's a human, you have to help them. You're not going to say no because either they can't afford your fees, they can't do something else. You have to find a way to help them. That was something I really got into.
Mhm.
And another thing is, you shouldn't get into greedy on the material things, because of course you have to run a house, you have to pay a bill. There is a boundary to that. You can't do
Yeah.
completely free service. At the same time, you shouldn't be very greedy on the uh, thinking on all the material things also.
Absolutely. And when you were talking about, you know, the way you live your life and the values and your principles, it's very interesting because I've got stuck on my fridge, which it's weird how messages come to you at a certain time in your life. I was in South Africa and I was driving around in one of my friend's cars, and they had a little calendar of my spiritual master, and on it said, "Be simple and sincere." And I was telling my husband at the end of that 6 weeks of driving around in South Africa that that is how I want this year to be. In fact, that is how I feel our lives should be, simple but sincere. And I went around, whenever I went to my in-laws, I said, "Do you have one of those calendars, those tiny calendars of Satya Sai Baba? Because I want this specific calendar." And he didn't have it. And I asked quite a few people. And when I came back to back to England, I still had a week, and I told myself, you know what? I actually want to take a book out of my spiritual master and read it. And when I pulled out the book from my study, a calendar fell out of the book.
Ah,
And what was the calendar? Be simple and sincere.
it was there with you all this time.
It was there with me all this time, and now it's stuck on my fridge, and it hasn't been taken off for the last, I think, 8 or 9 years. So these principles do hit home. Now, what are some of the challenges did you face when you've decided to start your Ayurvedic practices here?
Yeah, first thing is, we have a limited amount of the medicines available here. because I was practicing in India. You can imagine that there's a huge amount of medicine and huge amount of possibilities possible as a, because that is a government recognized medical medicine
Yeah.
system there. So that is much more regulated and all those things. I came here, that's one first thing was there's very less amount of the herbs provided available very easily. And second thing was the way, listen, Ayurveda is so individualistic.
Mm-hmm.
It considers every, even though we have broad category, it is the every medicine or the every advice we give is individually tailored to unique you. For example,
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about you, it's unique you. So at that time, not only you as a person, I will
Yeah.
look into the place where you live. What are the environment conditions you are exposed to? What are the foods available? So
Mm-hmm.
these things are completely different from India than here. So again, as I told you, those 6 months in Oxford, running around using the public transport, going to different shops helped me quite a lot. I went to different supermarkets. I knew what was available where, what's available in Turkish supermarkets, what's available in our Asian supermarkets, what's available in Eastern European supermarkets, what's available in our Tesco, Sainsbury's, Waitrose, these kind of supermarkets.
Yeah.
So that gave me an idea how it is. So this the second challenge about what is available, how to use it, that actually I worked through this 6 months of my part-time working and just exploring the place. And that's why I have a year gap between my practicing years and working as a lecturer years, because I took 1 year on that. Because and also this 1 year, another thing was the seasons are absolutely different from
I
how it
was
is in
just
India.
I was just about to say that because I can, like South Africa and India, our climate is very similar. We have distinct seasons. And I was reading a book. I was very interested in Ayurvedic practices, and I was reading a book many years ago that spoke about, because we are able to import fresh produce and things like that from different countries, and we are having something such as fruit, different fruit at the wrong time of the year. And that also has an effect on our body. So for example, we have bananas throughout the year, but we are living in England where winter time, that might not digest the way it should be digested in our bodies, and it brings upon illnesses. And can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, listen, the seasons here are absolutely different. Of course, it doesn't say that. Ayurveda clearly says if you study Ayurveda properly for 5 years or 10 years, because I spent nearly 9 years studying Ayurveda, getting into masters. In that time, you will definitely go in depth with those texts. In that text, they say the seasons might be different from place to place. Inside India, in those era, remember it was like 2000 BC, or sometimes those books were written. It says the south to Ganga, there is a one kind of season, and the north to Ganga till the Himalayas, there is another kind of the season.
Yeah.
So similarly, they give a clear indication that seasons can change according to how far you are from the equator. So I used that reference and started to analyze these seasons. What first thing is, why if you stay here a year, you know what this season does to your body, right? I used that as a base. And then I started looking at the patients, and of course, I keep on advising them eat the seasonal vegetables, seasonal fruits. And of course, today any fruits can be available anytime. And
When you take something like hot cross buns, which used to be available during Easter, and now it's available all year through, and it
exactly.
just loses its effect. And people have access to things now because of convenience. But although we are having this convenience around us of the material things that we need, it's actually messing up other parts of it's messing up our mental state, because I see the mental capacities of my clients all the time. And it's weird that whenever I work with them, I always look at nutrition, and I look at what vitamins they're taking. I basically look at the whole, it's again holistic. But, and it is so important, yes. So a really good tip, guys, what Prathima has given us, have seasonal fruit and vegetables.
Yes, and if you are not able to have because some health issues or you are going very quickly, there is some other couple of tips you have to follow. And another thing, it is like in the health food, we are planning health food and this, that. What they do is they mix the products and the fruits. Remember, fruits are sour. Whatever, they might taste sweeter on the top, but once they go into your stomach, the way how they are going to, once they are acted on by the juices, they are turned into more sour. So you are having the milk products, they are supposed to be curdled
Oh, yeah.
with some other enzymes. So it's going to make it worse. Ayurveda, that's why always says don't do that. If you mix those two, what happens is first your digestion is going to get sluggish. And once the digestion is sluggish, the whole set of problems start. It might be physical, mental, wherever your weak point is. Those kind of,
Mm.
whatever you are susceptible to, those kind of illnesses will slowly start building up inside your body. So this is another common thing you do. Most of the people do mistake is mixing the milk products and the fruits.
Oh, okay. And
So I
so
always ask my patients or
to separate it.
like take them apart, like separate, like at least 40 minutes.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that makes a big difference.
Yeah, okay. That's a very good tip. So most of the issues that you find with your patients, so does it actually brew in the gut? Like, does it actually start in the digestive system and then has an effect on the rest of the body?
Yes. First thing is, Ayurveda clearly says everything starts in the gut. And the very important factor in the gut is Agni. Agni is your digestive fire.
Yeah.
So depending on this only, I named my business.
Agni Healthcare. In fact, guys, Prathima belongs,
Agni
her
and
company
care,
is
that's
called
right.
Agni Healthcare, and Agni means fire. It's a Hindi word. It means fire,
This is Sanskrit. Yeah.
Sanskrit. And
Yeah.
so it depends on what your the type of like Agni is fire, the heat in your body, and that has a huge effect. Any tips for us to actually find ourselves or having triggers that we need to start to look at our gut? Any advice from you?
Yes. 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 Yeah. Few things you have to look up. That is, first thing is you're not feeling hungry and then you are eating. You're stuffing yourself up. See, this quite commonly happens. It's not, I will say almost everybody in their life might have experienced at least once, either because of the demand of their work or because of their emotions. They might have stuffed themselves even though they are not hungry. This is not a good habit. As soon as you realize that you are doing that, immediately stop it and try to
Okay,
try to eat something light at that time. If you feel like eating, also eat something
Tekish.
very light. Yeah, for
Uh,
this.
when I work with my weight loss clients, I always tell them that eat only when you are hungry and stop when you're full.
Yes,
Stop when you get that message from your tummy saying, I'm full. So stop. No matter what's on your plate, just stop.
yes.
Okay,
And
that's a good
another thing you have to notice is, yeah, something you have to notice is you have eaten only less amount, but still you feel full. It's not digested. That's what you feel. At that time, simple thing is you don't need to go around. The simple thing is in your kitchen. Most of our kitchen, like it might be Indian or you might be Jamaican or you might be
Italian or whatever.
Italian or English, whatever you are. Your kitchen has ginger, right? That ginger, either take a little bit of ginger, put it in your water, little bit of ginger, chew it with the salt, or make a ginger tea, and that kind of eases out your feeling of I'm full, I can't eat, or I don't know why I'm not feeling hungry, that kind of feeling.
So does that ginger tea make you full or keeps you full?
No. That because when you eat a little, it's the opposite of the problem what we said the peckish.
Oh, so yeah.
Not eating enough because they feel full always. They don't know why. Their digestion, total digestion is slow sluggish. So this ginger gives a little bit of kick to those fire which is kind of gone down inside the digestion system.
This is really important for I'm looking, I'm trying. The beautiful thing about having you here, it's collaborating work, and I know I've tapped into your knowledge when I was working with my bipolar and my other kinds of illnesses that I work with. I even work with like cancers and Parkinson's and so on. So with clients that suffer with eating disorders, like where they hate food. Food is a big no-no. For those clients, they're having that little ginger water or ginger tea would make a huge difference to their appetite.
Yes, exactly. And another alarming sign is this: it needs a little bit of expert advice. I can't say you can't treat it with yourself. That is either you are having alternative like IBS kind of symptom. It might not be exactly IBS, but you still feel some days you are constipated, some days you are not, or some days you have some loose motion, some days not. That is that is the beginning. If you leave it after I don't know how many years, it's very individualistic again. After a few years, it will turn into IBS. So you can
Yeah.
understand that much earlier when your stomach is upset, and you can start it there.
So with the ginger, also having ginger in the diet.
Yeah, you can have the ginger in the diet, but it's better to ask for an expert at that time because they can look into the core issues in your digestion and they can correct it out.
Yeah.
So
With IBS, I usually look at their mental state, because usually 99% of IBS is caused because of stress and that emotional and mental tension in the body. And obviously, those emotional and mental tensions affect your eating habits and the way your digestion works. So everything is one whole body that goes through different stages. What are some of the other challenges you faced when you were actually setting up your practice here?
yeah, listen, another thing is my specialty is Panchakarma. I think many of people who know Ayurveda know what is Panchakarma. It involves with a lot of treatments.
Mm,
I was specialized there. I became a consultant. I came to this country. The issue is you don't have enough space, or sometimes you can't even use certain oils. You know, Ayurvedic oils are
okay.
very can be smelly sometimes. If you are sharing
Mm,
room with some people, it happened to me once. I was sharing room with some people, and in the very beginning I didn't realize that oil was really smelly because I'm used to that smell, right? I didn't
yeah.
understand that. I really feel it's something that I did something wrong, but I learned a lot from that. It was in the very beginning of the. I learned, oh, this is also an hurdle. Until I faced that, I never ever thought that that's going to be an hurdle. Okay, and then I switched the oils which are not that strong smelling but still have the effect. One, and another thing is the if you have got the cleaning, of course that's really good. That I have to say, we when I was doing my post graduation, one of our teachers, he was like, it has to be kept really clean. Of course, me and I have got a very close friend, we both were also like that. We used to work on that area. That helped me a lot because it has to be absolutely clean. And I also changed some of the way how we operate some of the treatments to be
Mm-hmm.
less messy. And also another challenge was I need the treatment to be done 7 days to get the best effect.
Mm-hmm.
But just imagine the paying the rent, paying my fee, everything. All patients can't afford to have 7 days treatment at once. And I saw that many practices here they do once a week, but that's not giving the enough effect.
Yeah.
So I worked on this challenge. I came up with few things again. I will prepare them some things which we use in the Panchakarma in a different way, where I teach them how to use it in the home. That might be
Mm.
using something like a little bit steaming or a little bit heating, all these kind of things, and how they can use that treatment at home. Of
Yeah.
course, they have to come once in 3 days or something. That saves them money. At the same time, they can have the effect of the 7 days. This will again, these all these challenges. It looks like I have
So you
gone.
had to tweak your work and you had to tweak the way you worked from the way you worked in India to here.
Yeah, without changing the principles, the way how it works, it has to work that way. Core principles have to set in, and at the same time it has to be acceptable to the way how we work in this country. It looks very easy the way when I say, but I'll tell you, this took me maybe 5 to 6 years to get sort some of the single problems, like each of them if you look into that. So, and
And
I'll tell
also
you,
the
till
weather.
today, I'm changing.
And
Till
all
today,
this, it's constantly changing. And I know, if you're a good practitioner, you're a good, if you're good at what you do, you're constantly tweaking. You don't have anything set in stone. And I guess another big challenge must have been the weather. There's certain medication, there's certain oils you'd use in a hot country and not
yeah,
in a cold country. So it's making sure that you also balance that again, I guess.
exactly. And certain oils we use back in India can't be used at all because they don't even, I have to say, to the illness, they don't even touch it because
Oh,
it's so cold outside. And certain treatments we can't do the way how we do there at all. The reason is the weather never ever permits that.
yeah,
It has to be done with certain temperature within certain time, and those constraints what we have that we can't follow at all. So for that we have to definitely tweak. And again, the people, I will tell you, among the Vata, Pitta, Kapha, three major principles of Ayurveda in this country, with the rain and the wind coming anytime, whenever, 360 days out of 365, this vata can go out of balance anytime. That is another hurdle. You might have find it also, Nirasha, and you might not know why. This is the reason. Vata increases. That means like you would have gone 4 or 5 steps ahead. Because of this imbalance, suddenly you'll come back another couple of steps back.
yeah.
So you have to start again. And some very chronic cases, I've gone back to step one so many times. After 6 months, we think, oh, we have done this much progress. We are very happy. Me and my client both are happy. 1 week full of rain happens and the patient comes back
That's
50%.
that's also with the mental capacities also.
Exactly.
I see that, and I had a client the other day that I was working on, and he felt amazing. He felt amazing, but unfortunately he had a breakup, and that took him down quite a lot of steps. But thank God we have mechanisms that we put into place for things like that when it happens, and that's the mind, I guess. How did you rise above? If I had to ask you one thing that you had to change completely, your outlook with Ayurvedic practices and being in the UK, what is one thing that you had to change so that your practice and you as a doctor in Ayurvedic medicine got better?
I think I have to tell, like, rather than in the Ayurveda, one thing I've changed quite a lot the way how it works in Ayurveda. But one thing I have changed quite a lot is the way how I manage my time.
Okay, so how you hack your time, that's your mindset hack.
Yeah, and also being positive always. Whatever these two things I'll say, these two things actually helped me all through this journey.
Tell me a little bit more. How did you conquer your time?
Oh, sometimes I still am still bad at conquering my time, and sometimes I think I've done it is a continuous journey.
Yeah.
Listen, first when I came in, I was like, we were a young couple, we had a lot of time, and I could do quite a lot of things, but then the child number one came, child number two came. You know, as a busy mother, at the same time you have to give the same amount of
Mhm.
time to your clients also,
Yeah.
and you can't neglect the kids also, so then you have to be really quick in what you are doing.
Yeah.
um, I didn't I am a person that I somehow, it is my personality, I know it's maybe my vata kind of method. I get attracted to many projects. I can't sit with one project and finish it and then go to the other. So I do take on quite a lot of work
You're a
sometimes.
busybody.
Yeah, otherwise I feel something is empty suddenly. I
Do
know
you
that.
know, do you know what I do when it comes to time management for myself and also my clients? I tell them, when they say, "Oh, I've got so many things going on, and my mind goes here and there and everywhere." I tell them it's a simple activity. Take a paper plate, sit with your kids and your hubby, and you write down everything that's on your plate at the moment. You know, everything you're doing for the kids, everything you're doing home, and look at it. And when you look at how full that plate is, and your spouse and your kids also see how full your plate is, then they start to empathize with you. And then they you could tell, you know what, this is my mommy's plate. What can you guys do to make my plate lighter? And when you do that and you circle things that child number one's doing or your other child's doing and what your hubby is doing, suddenly it is getting lighter and you have more time available to do what you love doing. But one thing that is key here is that you have to give up control. Now, I know many women find it really hard giving up control because they find that nobody else will do it better than I would do it. And unfortunately, we are not getting any awards for the best mom that has done everything for their children and their spouse. So
Exactly,
this,
I'll tell you, it's a teamwork. The home is a teamwork. That's what we both believe.
absolutely.
And kids have to be independent. That's what, because of course I'm grown up like that, and luckily my husband is also grown up like that. You have to be independent quite enough. So they have to do some amount of work at home, and
Hmm.
whatever is there they have to put in, and also again being in control. Of course I've gone through that for a while. I'll tell you, when the kids are little, I wanted to be very, very controlling.
You want to be the best mom.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then after like 2 3 years I realized that listen, nobody is the best parent in this world. It is an experiment everybody is doing.
You are the
Nobody is.
best parent to your kids.
Yes, exactly. That's why they came to your life. Remember that. But don't be very harsh or don't be very lenient. That's all you have to do with the kids. So, and also with the work and all the timing, I have to say my husband is very, very helpful. We manage the work that way, that when I'm
Yeah.
extremely busy, he goes a little bit less number of hours, and when he's busy I go a little bit less number of hours,
Mhm.
so that it's balanced.
So you
That's
have this understanding, and you have this, you know exactly how to merge each of your calendars up. You said so
so
it was
one more
time.
thing they say, one more I think, say prioritize what has
Exactly.
to be done in next 24 hours. So I take it everything every 24 hours. I go through it in my mind. Okay, in next 24 hours, this is the priority. And this is the priority. But there is something above this list is whatever happens. There are two priorities in my life. That is my home. That's my kids and my hubby. That's the number one. Number two is my clients.
Yeah.
So if anything goes anywhere wrong with any small extra attention needed in these two places, whatever the other work I thought it's a priority, I
Mm.
will just leave it and address these two.
I'll give you also my tip how I managed that, because when I came to this country, my daughter was 2 and my son was 4. So they were very, very little. And leaving my mother-in-law, who used to babysit them and used to take care of them with so much of love during the day, I had to come and I left all that. So what I do for me, what helps me to manage what I'm doing in my time is I have a vision board. I don't keep things up here, because if I keep things up here, it takes away my mind space where I can think about solutions rather than, oh, I have this, and this to do. So I have a vision board at the back of my bedroom door, which is like, you know, whatever new ideas, I just pop it up there. I end up moving it around because it's magnetic. And also I get, also all of us at home, we all chip in, and that helps too. And my best friend is actually a post stick. I have a pack of post sticks in my bag. I have a pack of post sticks everywhere in my kitchen. So when I need and I'm thinking of something, instead of keeping everything in here where it becomes a big budget, where it becomes like a spaghetti bowl, I end up writing it on post sticks. And when something is negative and I find that I can't switch off from it, I write it on a post-it or I write it down on paper, and I either burn it or I dump it. So that really helps me and helps my, even my kids end up doing that too. And my hubby.
That's very, very good tip, I have to say. What I do is when I feel really negative, I sit and write, because when I was young, I used to write some poems. Of course, now I don't have time, I don't do that. But still, you know what I do is I write few lines in my mother tongue and keep it in one place, and that takes off my low mood. That's all, like this.
That's
And
really good.
yeah.
That's good, and especially when you can express yourself in your mother tongue, it's those true feelings where you don't need to translate it. It's just pure raw feeling.
Exactly, exactly. That's why when I feel low or when I feel negative, I go back to my mother tongue and write few sentences. It might not be a poem, it might not be whatever it is, whatever comes to my mind, write few sentences, and that's it. And
Mm.
within half a day, I'm fine of it. And
Oh, that's amazing. That is amazing. And I know you also mentioned that you do your meditations, um, you do yoga and things like that?
yes, listen, what I do is every day I except some of the cheat days in a 15 days once or something like that. Like, I try to get up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock. Latest
Mhm.
is 5 o'clock. And half an hour goes for my quick yoga, like pranayamas and all those things. And then the meditation. I like that time. That is my time, and it's completely nobody is up, and it's the proper time to concentrate. That time you are, if you are up, your mind is more active. So I use that time to meditate at that time. That's I'm fresh then. And then after the meditation and the pranayamas and the quick yoga, what I do is I sit with a cup of tea.
Oh yes, your chai.
Yeah, or a coffee, that depends on that day's mood, and sit with the news. I need to read the news at that time.
You sound like my hobby now. I tell him, you know what? You've given me this habit where I don't ever watch the news. The news comes to me via him. He,
So I select which paper I want to read that day. I like to read the newspapers rather than watching. It is
that's
something,
good.
the habit from the young time. So it's 15 minutes. I might read one news or just scroll through the headlines. And sometimes I'll get into some art. After that, I read an article, or I'm studying. I will start studying, or I'm preparing for something. I'll do that. Or if I think I'm not in a hurry to go out for the work, then I will go for a walk or something
That's
before
brilliant.
kids are ready. By 6:30, this all has to be done.
Oh,
Then
that's brilliant. And Having this discipline and having this routine is so important for a healthy body, a healthy mind, and a healthy life. I've got one last question to ask you. Does the mindset accelerate the healing in Ayurvedic practices?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And if you look into the way how I practice is the first time when they come to me, I'll tell them I might not give you any herbs until you have got something. If I feel you have got some serious illness or we need to tackle it with the herbs straight away. Otherwise, I really don't ever prescribe them herbs straight away. What I do is I'll sit with them first, as we spoke in the beginning, the digestion. I correct for that whatever has to be done, and next is I give them something kind of a morning routine and then night routine. This is mainly about turning their mindset. The
Mm,
negativity in the mind makes a big obstacle. It's a big obstacle in the healing. So you have to turn it into a positivity. Like
mm,
the common things I use is I use some of the Ayurvedic points to stimulate and some breathing techniques and some simple meditation techniques, yoga nidra, all these things. Again, all these are completely tailored to
mm.
that person and their thing. This mindset makes a big difference. I have seen people who are with the really difficult things, I think, but with their positivity, they pass the hurdle of the healing very quickly.
Yeah,
So mindset is very important, having a
absolutely,
positive thinking
absolutely.
towards your health.
And even I have quite a few clients that come from GPs. Like if they seem to, whatever medication isn't working, I actually get a referral. And because no matter what medication, you can have like a placebo medication in front of you, and it might do the work, it might heal your body, not even knowing that it was a placebo effect. But everything has, the mind is so powerful. Recently I'm doing this 5-day challenge on heal your body by rewiring your mindset. And it is really powerful. And together with nutrition and Ayurvedic practices and holistic therapies and massage therapies, I think there's so many things out there, and people will just need to tap into what is actually good for them. And by having these chatty cuppa shows, it helps others to know what's out there. And how can my viewers know where to find you?
Oh yeah, they can Google for agnihealthcare.com and they can contact us very easily through the Agni Healthcare, or you can email me at agnihealthcare@gmail.com and I will be answering your questions if you have any.
And
Yeah.
you are on
And
Facebook, and you're
yes,
on
I'm on
Facebook.
Facebook, LinkedIn, and Insta. You can contact me there also.
Brilliant. And I'll also put it down into when I'm uploading this video onto my YouTube channel. I have to say thank you so much. Your wealth of knowledge has just been amazing, and I've learned so many things. Definitely separating having milk products and fruit, having seasonal fruit and vegetables. That's definitely a big one, and making sure that our gut is healthy.
Yeah. That's the key. And
That's
thank you. It's lovely chatting with you as usual. Always, it's a pleasure. I will learn few things from you. The way how you said, the way how you keep the plate. That's a very good tip, I think. And I'm definitely going to use it for me and my clients also. Thank
Oh,
you.
no, thank you so much. And thank you once again for being here. And lots and lots of love, lots of blessings to you and your company. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you also, and all the best with your work. Thank you.
Thank you.